Until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. That is the first line in the next chapter of James Allen's book, As a Man Thinketh. And this chapter is all about thought and purpose. It's a short chapter, but man, it runs deep. I'm telling you right now. He says, aimlessness is a vice, and such drifting must not continue. For him who would steer clear of catastrophe and destruction. They who have no central purpose in their life fall an easy prey to petty worries, fears, troubles, and self-pityings, all of which are indications of weakness, which lead just as surely as deliberately planned sins, although by a different route, to failure, unhappiness, and loss, for weakness cannot persist in a power-evolving universe. Welcome to Flourish. I'm Diane Planidin, and you're in the right place if you're ready to create an inspired life. And we do so by working on our own personal development, so we can be strong role models for those we love and mentor. I am eating up this book like you would not believe. It's so straightforward and to the point how powerful our thoughts are and how we need to exercise that mental muscle. He goes on to say, a person should conceive of a legitimate purpose in their heart and set out to accomplish it. They should make this purpose the centralizing point of their thoughts. It may take the form of a spiritual ideal, or it may be a worldly object, according to the nature at the time being. But whichever it is, they should steadily focus their thought forces upon the object which they have set before them. Focus your thoughts. They should make this purpose their supreme duty and should devote themselves to its attainment, not allowing their thoughts to wander away to ephemeral fancies, longings, and imaginings. This is the royal road to self-control and true concentration of thought. Let me say that again. He starts out by saying, conceive of legitimate purpose in your heart. And this is the royal road to self-control and true concentration of thought. Even if you fail again and again to accomplish this purpose, as you necessarily must until weakness is overcome, so failure is normal. Let me get back to that in a minute. The strength of character gained will be the measure of true success, and this will form a new starting point for future power and triumph. Even if you fail again and again as you're working your mental muscle, as you are working towards accomplishing your goals, reaching your purpose in life, you're going to have to fail because you're exercising. And you can't go from picking up a 5-pound weight to a 500-pound weight overnight. Similarly, in this analogy, you have to continue to the royal road of self-control. You need to fail again and again and again to accomplish your purpose. That is so powerful, it's so meaningful and so simple and so straight to the point. But it also validates all of us who are like, oh man, I am just getting whack-a down. You gotta do that. You gotta do that to build your strength, to build your character, to build yourself up. He goes on to say, those who are not prepared for the apprehension of a great purpose should fix the thoughts upon the faultless performance of their duty, no matter how insignificant their task may appear. Only in this way can the thoughts be gathered and focused, and resolution and energy be developed, which, being done, there is nothing which may not be accomplished. Nothing which may not be accomplished. Are you jazzed about this? Are you jazzed to know you're normal? This is normal. You keep going and going and going, and ooh, a few setbacks, and then you get going. Sometimes it takes a few days to get going again. Sometimes you have to have that talk with yourself. Sometimes you have to give yourself a little meditation, reflection, mantra, affirmation, whatever it takes before you get out of bed. Set your sights right? Goes on to say, the weakest soul, knowing its own weakness and believing this truth that strength can only be developed by effort and practice, will, thus believing, at once begin to exert itself and adding effort to effort, patience to patience, and strength to strength, will never cease to develop and will at last grow divinely strong. The weakest soul, strength can be developed by effort and practice. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter your upbringing. What matters is what you decide to do for you today. And I'm going to say this has been now scientifically proven. It's not woo-woo, it's not spirituality, it's not, praying to the gods. It is scientific fact. I think it was, and I'm not a scientist, so, don't use my unwanted advice, but look it up, 2007, 2009, around there. The science world proved this through the discovery of epigenetics, that we can build upon the genes that we were handed in life. We can build upon them. We can change them. And there's some good TED Talks about it, and I think it's like some kind of mouse experiment, but anyways, this is now proven. And when this book was written, the scientific community thought, well, you got your lot in life now, didn't you? You can't change your genetic predisposition. But guess what? You can. And this is what he's trying to say here. He's like, develop your strength. And like we were talking earlier about the strength in physical strength, he says, as the physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so the man of weak thoughts can make them strong by exercising himself in the right thinking. You have to exercise your thoughts. Be you a man, be you a woman, you're a human being. You have the power to exercise your thoughts. And he says, to put away aimlessness and weakness and to begin to think with purpose is to enter the ranks of those strong ones who recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment. Let me say that again. To put away aimlessness and weakness and to begin to think with purpose is to enter the ranks of those strong ones who recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment. It's a pathway to attainment. That's what failure is. And failure is not an action word. So it's not something you do. You have to keep learning, keep moving forward. He says, who make all conditions serve them, and who think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. Thomas Edison would have worried about that. We would all be still sitting in the dark, wouldn't we? 1,000 times he tried for the light bulb. You can come up with a modern day example. One I hear a lot of is J.K. Rowling. 12 publishers rejected her Harry Potter. Number 13 took a chance and changed the literary world, literally. So it's important that you keep moving forward, and setbacks are not set downs. Moving forward. Here's what he says. Having conceived of a purpose, a person should mentally mark out a straight pathway to its achievement, looking neither to the right nor the left. Laser focus, right? Doubts and fears should be rigorously excluded. They are elements which break up the straight line of effort, rendering it crooked, ineffectual, useless. Thoughts of doubt and fear never accomplish anything and never can. They always lead to failure. Purpose, energy, power to do, and all strong thoughts cease when doubt and fear creep in. Purpose, energy, power to do, and all strong thoughts cease when doubt and fear creep in. The will to do springs from the knowledge that we can do. Doubt and fear are the great enemies of knowledge, and he who encourages them, who does not slay them, thwarts himself at every step. So those doubts and fears, slay them like a dragon. Just slay them. Just get out of my way. Get out of my head. I'm moving forward. I have a pathway. I'm on a mission. Stick to that mission. And that's where it takes the mental muscle to build it up, build it up, build it up. And I'm just the same. I'm the same as anyone else. No different. Every day, work that mental muscle. Every day. You just have to keep doing it and keep believing in yourself. And then, this is what he says about that. When you've conquered doubt and fear, conquered failure, your every thought is allied with power, and all difficulties are bravely met and wisely overcome. Your purpose are seasonably planted, and they bloom and bring forth fruit which does not fall prematurely to the ground. I love that. You just plant them firmly in place. Thought, allied fearlessly to purpose, becomes creative force. Person who knows this is ready to become something higher and stronger than a mere bundle of wavering thoughts and fluctuating sensations. The person who does this has become the conscious and intelligent wielder of mental powers. I was just, reading this. I've read it a number of times, obviously, but I just really wanted you to embrace this thought on just wielding your sword and just moving forward. It's like you're a warrior. You are a warrior. And if you have that warrior mentality, it's like, no, I don't know where that thought came from, but probably from something I watched last night on TV. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Your power of thought and purpose is where you're going to reach your successful mindset. And the first sentence I read too, on thought and purpose from this chapter. Until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. So you know by now that you manifest things through your thoughts, and it's not a wishing well. That's not what we talked about, and you should listen to last week's episode because that really narrowed down how thoughts do become things. How when you put out that energy, that vibe, that feeling, your belief system into the universe, out there, and it takes courage, confidence, but that's your dignity. When you put it out there and you become the warrior and you attach your thoughts to your purpose, your goals, your raison d'etre, your meaning in life, that's where the magic truly begins to happen. And you will live a more inspired life. Well, if you like the show, share it with somebody you know. And hey, if you want to help us out, we don't ask for anything in exchange. Hit that subscribe button. It helps others find the show. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, well, maybe hit those stars too. Great. I will see you next week.